In this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and an overview of the brand new Geometric Future Model 4 case. This case is doing things I haven't seen before in any other case, so I'm incredibly interested to see what's inside. Let's check it out. All right, so along the front over here, we have a big old O, then Geometric Future here, King Arthur over here, one of my favorite series of legends or myths, whatever you want to call them. Along the side over here, we have GEO Model 4 specifications and features. Along the back, Model 4 Geometric Future again. And then over here, product name, model number, color, package size, all that stuff here. Coming along the top real quick. So nothing special along the top. All right, so starting off with the looks, I think she looks beautiful. This is glass here and this is steel. Coming along the back over here, typical 120 millimeter fan right here. You can also fit a 120 millimeter radiator right over here. Then we have 7 IOs over here. And then we have a vertically mounted slot over here. Very nice. A very odd addition is right over here, we can plug in a power cable, but it doesn't bring a power supply. One of the incredibly interesting things about this case, and we'll go over it in a second. And then the back, I'm not so much a fan of it, or the other side of this piece, but it could actually be beneficial. If you notice, it also has those perforated holes along the bottom. And the front, I just think these colors are sexy. You could look at it as Excalibur or maybe Bumblebee or whatever other, kind of yellow and black you like. I like it. Power button right over here. The activity light, the power light reset, which is kind of in there. I don't know if it broke, but we'll see anyway. 2 USB 3.0s, then a mic and a headphone audio and just a mic port. So you can use these for those kind of ports that will work on 2, which is nice. Then a USB Type-C connection right up here. Along the bottom where you would normally put a fan, there isn't any place to put a fan here. So one of the very curious and interesting design aspects of this case that we will get along into the build. Along the top over here, we can fit, I'm removing this panel here, up to 240 millimeter radiator, which has me a little bit confused, but we'll trust them. And let's see, can we remove this? It has a lip over here, and we'll see how that works in a second. Then coming over here, I'll remove this. Unfortunately, that was not epic at all. One thing that unfortunately I kind of stole during that peel was the way you open up this side panel. So without having to remove any screws or anything, you'll see a little tiny lip right over here. All you do is pull on it and the case opens up. These little hinges right over here, and then again, just open it up and it stays on there. You don't have to hold it or anything. It stays open, which maybe it's the way I have it angled, but it's not swinging around, which is a very welcome feature. That's nice. I like that a lot. Now, keeping along with the theme of toolless so far on that part, I can just lift the glass off and I can take it off if I needed to, just giving me a little extra room. Inside of this case, I can fit up to a 405 millimeter graphics card. This is a 7900 XT I have laying around right now, and it fits perfectly fine, just for reference. So we have down here this little accessories, kind of a pouch. That's actually kind of nice. We'll get into this in 1 second. So along the bottom over here, we can see a USB 3.0 connection. Then we can see HD audio header, a USB Type-C, an incredibly short cable, might be tangled along the back. We'll see in a second. And then the connections for the reset, power button, HD activity, and the power LED. And then we can see back here, and it's really a tiny nub, is a power connection. Again, incredibly interesting the way that this power works, and I'll show you that in 1 second. So inside of this case, we can fit an ITX motherboard, a micro ATX motherboard, ATX, and eATX. So you can fit just about any motherboard in there, and it's pretty awesome so far. The case is completely made out of steel, which is beautiful, and it feels nice. Not as good as aluminum would, but still, it feels very nice. In here, you can fit a CPU heatsink of up to 164 millimeters. As I mentioned before, you can fit back here up to a 120 millimeter radiator. Up at the top here, you can fit a 240 millimeter radiator. And even though I sincerely recommend against it, you can fit down here a 360 millimeter radiator. I don't recommend that. If anything, I recommend putting fans down here, blowing up, not so much a radiator. This panel up here, you can fit a 2.5 inch SSD or mechanical drive along the back over here with a plate, or you can totally remove it and you can slide in a 4090. Now, it looks like you can also fit a 4090 if you slide it back there and put it like that, but I don't know what that would be like for airflow. Again, because up here, it just has a mesh. It doesn't have holes so that you can install a fan. So I'm kind of confused as to why they would do that. Now, again, because you can fit 3 120 millimeter fans down here blowing air up, that would aid tremendously in cooling that video card, but there is no fan included in the rear, the bottom, or the top of this case, or the front, and we can use our own. So that's not a tremendously horrible thing, but something I thought I would let you know. So up here, we can fit one 2.5 inch drive. Then along the back over here, lifting that lip that we saw earlier, kind of confused on how it works. Okay, so I kind of have to bend it over here a little tiny bit as I'm lifting it, but that whole top and the rear side come out. So then over here would be all those cables I showed you earlier, that shorter USB Type-C, which generally would go over here on the other side of the board, but it could go anywhere on this case. So I'm a little concerned as to if this will reach every single board. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this. All right, so then back here we have 1, 2, 3 2.5 inch trays for 3 additional SSDs, or of course the smaller mechanical drives. And then here was that power cable that, if you remember, came from back here and kind of comes over here for some reason. Why does it do that? So removing that top panel, we can put the power supply here along the front of the case, facing downwards over here. I think we can have the fan sucking air this way, blowing air out of the case over here. And then instead of having it sticking out over here, we can have it sticking out over here. And then we can have all the cables coming out of here, and we can guide all the cables out through here. So incredibly curious as to how I'm going to be installing this power supply, but I already know I'm going to be using a 240 millimeter radiator in this build. Removing this tray, you can fit a 3.5 inch drive sideways here, and then removing this tray, you can fit a 3.5 inch drive facing vertically here. So horizontally here, vertically here, and then you would still have room for one 2.5 inch over here and another 2.5 inch over here if you keep this panel here. I was mentioning installing fans down here, which you can, but also notice that this is elevated. It has these little holes over here for breathing, which means you can fit fans down under here, so they're not, so ugly maybe into your case, but from down here, which gives them a little more room to breathe, blowing air up into the case. So very interesting to see how this build is going to come out. But what's in the accessories bag? Now we have 5 different types of screws here. So first off, we have the standoff screw bit. This is my favorite bit because it's used to screw in these standoffs. If not, you would have to use needle nose pliers. This just makes it easy. Drop in that standoff screw right over there, and then grab a Phillips head screwdriver and then screw it in, and it's in. Makes it really simple. And then we have 5 of these socket head cap screws, incredibly small screws. And actually in this particular bag, we had 6. 19 round head screws. Could see that right there. And 19 3.5 HED screws, 19 of these. And they all came in this very nice resealable baggie. So when you're done using them, if you want to save them for later, just toss them back in here and you're good to go. Then also in that baggie, 8 nylon cable ties all attached together so that you can do some cable management. Very nice that they include these. And power cable ties with 3M adhesive backing. So take this off, put it on the back of your case, and then you could slide power cables or USB cables, whatever kind of cables you'd like, slide them in there, close it up, stick it to the back of the case, and you're set. In this video, we did a complete unboxing and overview of the Geometric Future Model 4 case. This brand new, beautiful, and confusing case. In my next video, we're going to be doing a complete build and cable management from the ground up to show you just how to build inside of this case, which of course will help you in any build you do in the future. Now, if you want a build just like it, check out this video up above. That's going to walk you through a similar build. But this build is unlike any other build I've done before, so I hope to see you back for that one. This is Iggy with ThisBytesForYou out. See you guys.